What up, people? And yes, look at that disgusting badge in the corner. Yes, you know where I work now. Great. Don't come into work if you live in my area, because I will hide. Anyway, there is no workout video today at all. I haven't even gone to the gym. I'm now just got off the bus and I'm walking to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor in years. I don't even know if you can just go in anymore and just see him. I ain't got a clue. I'm going to get my ankle sorted finally. Hopefully he'll send me to a specialist at a hospital, because my dad's had the same problem years ago, so hopefully they'll do the same to me, because it needs getting sorted out. I'm not going to pay the high prices of physio if I can get it free on the NHS. Also, recently I've been having a bit of a problem. Some of you might have had it before, I don't know. This is my video, what I'm going to be talking about today, about bulking, and how I go around my bulking day. No food in it, but just basically how to bulk and how I manage bulking, being a really bad eater, in like struggling to eat the calories, how I make it easy for myself. But recently I've been, feels like gurgitating, like going they're doing that all the time. Not today, because I haven't had any, but every time, because I'm using like a mass gainer protein shake, which is like got 500 calories and it's, you know, like got 70 something grams of carbs in. Every time I take that, I sort of want to be sick. It feels like I want to be sick. I don't want it. I don't feel like physically I'm going to be sick. It just feels like I'm going and I know I'm not going to be sick. Also when I have porridge as well, and I don't know if it's the high volumes of the actual thing, because I'll have porridge with the protein powder, or I'll have it in a shake. It's not the mass gainer. It's nothing to do with the mass gainer. I'm just wondering if it could be protein. Maybe I have an effect on protein. I don't know. I can't remember when I was using whey, because it's not as thick, obviously. But somebody said it might be somebody called Danny Manger. He's on YouTube. Go and check him out. He said it could be acid reflux, where you basically, it feels like you want to be sick and regurgitate your food. It's like today I haven't had it at all, and it's worse when I go to the gym, because it makes me really like thirsty. I don't know if there's any sort of like anything you could get that you can make yourself not feel thirsty at the gym, because I always get a really dry mouth and I have enough water, so it's not that. So I'm going to go into the doctors now and see what they say. Hi, can I make an appointment to see the doctor, please?
I haven't got anything to pre-book at the minute, I'm afraid. We're waiting on the doctor's adding more camps as well for appointments at the moment.
Oh, so you can't?
Nothing to pre-book, we've just got the day release appointments. You could call us at 8 in the mornings if you can get something for the same day.
Because I work, you see, and I work at 8, so...
Oh yeah, I get that, we're with a lot of people, but until they put some more on, there's nothing I can actually book.
Oh, because I've been to doctors for years, you see, so...
If you try it in a couple of days, they might buy up some more screens.
Okay then. Alright then. Alright.
Thank you.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? What a waste of time. Oh, that's annoyed me. Absolutely annoyed me. Right, told you I haven't been to the doctors for years. right? You just go in, book an appointment, and then you probably see him the same day or maybe the day after. Now, you can't even make an appointment. How much are these doctors getting paid? You know what? They need to get off their lazy asses and actually do some work. They get overpaid, these GPs. They're not proper doctors. They just don't do anything, right? They sit around all day and just do nothing. And it really frustrates me. I mean, they're talking about putting billions into the NHS. Well, what is the point in actually doing that if it's still going to be rubbish like this? I mean, I could be ill, I could be dying, and what they're going to do? Nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, she didn't even ask. I know she's not the doctor. She didn't even ask what's wrong. I'm the sort of person where I'm like, oh, I can't bother now. Not going to go back because what's the point? You know, people just haven't got the time to walk in at certain times to try and find that you can make yourself better. What an absolute joke. Right, I have calmed down after my little hissy fit about the doctors, and I'm now going to talk about the actual video itself. How to bulk as a beginner. I am no professional. Before you all moan and say, oh, you're not a professional, what do you know about bulking? What do you know about steroids? You don't have to be an expert or done something to be an expert, if you know what I mean. You do not need to do something to talk about something. You know, you can be really, really interested in something but never ever take part in it. You know, like a pundit who's a football pundit. Rubbish at football, but you know what? They know their stuff. A referee. Can't play football, but they know the law, all the rules about football, probably more than the football players themselves. So before people start saying, oh, that's not what you do, this is not what you do, this is my way of doing it, because I still think I'm a beginner when it comes to bulking. I'm not a bulker. I do not like bulking. This is probably my second year ever bulking properly, and I'm still not doing it completely 100% right, because I do struggle with actual eating that mass amount. I don't struggle eating. When you obviously are bulking, you're eating a lot more calories than you actually usually do. So then, what I'm going to do is going to break it down how to bulk for a beginner the easy way. No advanced, brilliant technical words and graphs and telling you how to do this and that. So then you're like, don't know what you're on about. Because, frankly, I don't know all the technical words. I don't really care about that. People go on and go on and go on talking about, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. No, you don't. There's 2 simple rules to bulk up as a beginner. And one rule is to make sure you're in a surplus, right? That is a fancy word for eating more calories. So basically, you've just got to make sure you eat enough calories than you're burning off. That is it. Simple as that. There is no other technical way. If people say there's other ways of doing it, no, there isn't. That is the only way you can put on weight, by eating in a surplus. You need to eat more calories off than you're burning. But what people don't seem to tell you when you see people on YouTube, people on Instagram, they don't really tell you, and this is why how they get the money off you, is how they actually know how many calories you're actually burning off to know how many calories to put on. So For instance, I obviously went through a personal training course until I quit it because it was a joke, and I was learning how to actually calculate the energy spent on a person. It is completely different with every single person. So if somebody says you need to put this much on, like this person, it's a load of rubbish. Do not even listen to them, because every single person is different. Everybody is a different weight, a different age, do stuff like work different, exercise wise. Everything counts on what you burn off in a day. So for instance, I calculated, you'll see a chart now, it's basically telling you the formula to how to work out how much energy is spent. Right, this is out of the book that I learned from, and I still got the books, so it is the truth what I'm saying. It's no made up stuff, it is a fact. So there is no 100% accurate way of saying how much you actually burn off, because no one would know down to the absolute 1 calorie, but it is the closest formula, and it's been done for so many times, and this is what every single personal trainer does. This is what you will pay for on your first ever PT lesson course, and this is how they calculate how much to cut your calories or put your calories up for you to do your workout and, you know, your planning for your diet. So what it is basically, I did this for myself, and I worked it out as I am basically using 2,700 calories a day in what I do. This totals from your daily usage, which can vary from 1,400 to about 1,700, 800, depending on your age. And this is where it's quite important. Your age does matter a lot, because if you're younger, your metabolism can burn off a lot more calories than an older person. So you can do a lot more physical stuff and you can burn off a lot more. Where a person who is older is obviously not going to be as physical and not move around as much and mobile, so they're not going to burn off as many calories. So they're actually going to be lower in that part of the actual formula. Then you've got your height, which it does depend. I think it does depend. I don't really understand the height part, because obviously unless you're a complete giant or really, really, really small, I can't see how that will affect your actual formula. But ask the man himself who invented it, he'll probably tell you if you Google it or something like that. The other part is obviously your weight, and you've got to put your weight in, and then you just have to calculate it all up, and it comes out at something. You also have to put in, which is another part of the formula, is what you actually do. What physical activities you've been doing, you know, and job wise, are you quite a active person? You know, if you're something like a labourer, where you're like a builder, you're going to be quite physical and quite you know, doing a high demand job. But if you're working in an office, you're not going to burn off as many calories as somebody like a builder. And also what exercise you do that day. You could be a very, very high intense gym goer who does a lot of running, does a big workout. So there's different brackets for that, and you all crunch it together and it comes out with the calculation of what you're averagely burning off a day. Then you're probably wondering how you know what to do then. What do you do? Well, if you want to obviously lose weight,
You just need to eat less calories than your expenditure. So obviously if I wanted to start shredding or lose weight, I'd have to eat less calories than 2,700 calories. So if I want to bulk up, which I am, I've got to eat more. So I would be eating over 2,700 calories. Depending on how much weight I want to gain, I would bulk it up more. Obviously, if you're seriously want to put on a hell of a lot of mass, I would be bulking up like 4,000. But then you will be tending to put on a bit more body fat. You will get probably a belly, because you just be too much mass and calories for your body to handle. So you probably will gain excess fat. So the best way to bulk up and cut is slowly add 200, 300 calories and then see where you go. Obviously weigh yourself. I tend to weigh myself once a week because I don't see the point of weighing yourself every day, because it goes up, right? As you can see, at the start of the week, I weighed myself and I'm weighing, first time ever, 180 pounds. And today I weigh myself just to see what I did, and I'm now 176 pounds. So it just shows I just lost 4 pounds for no reason, and that's because of exercise. Because on the weekends I don't work, I don't go to the gym, and all my food while I'm eating is storing in there, and basically that 3,500 calories what I eat a day, it's not getting burnt off. So that's why I actually gain more. So you've got to understand, if you're wanting to bulk, probably the best way is to be lazy. I know it sounds bad, but if you're seriously wanting to put on mass, the more exercise you do, the more you're burning off, and the slower you will gain weight, if you get me. As you can tell, I'm gradually getting bigger, but it's because of my work and I'm on my feet and then I go to the gym. I'm burning off, so that's why I'm gradually building up weight slowly. If I wanted to build on more weight, like I said, I would eat a lot more, but this is the reason why I can't, because I struggle to eat. And this is the next point I want to talk about, is if you're new to bulking and you're a beginner, what do you eat? What is the foods what you should be eating to bulk up? I suggest you eat what you like eating. Obviously, if you can, I've done a video about this, it's right up there in the corner now, about dirty bulking and clean bulking. If you chose dirty bulking, just remember, you're going to put on a lot more fat, right? You're going to get the calories up easy, but you're going to put on a lot more fat. So when you go down to your cut, you're going to be going for a cut a longer period, because there'll be a lot more fat to get rid of. If you go clean, it's harder because you'll have to eat a lot more food just to get them calories, and it will be easier to cut in the long time. But if you can eat, it won't make no difference. I tend to basically do half and half. So if I've got quite a bit of calories left and I look in my macros, which I will talk about in a bit, you can play around with it. So say if I've got like, I've got 500 calories left, but I've done my proteins and all that, and I've got probably about 20 grams of fat free. I could go and get myself a cheeseburger, whack, there's the 500 calories done straight away, and jobs are good. And as long as you look around and play with your food, see what it is, start reading on the back of the packets of food, and you'll end up finding how to get around foods. Foods I would suggest to eat for bulking, you're going to have your rice, there's pasta, they're going to give you sources of energy, really good. Potatoes, if you're cutting sweet potatoes and they taste nice and gives you that, gets rid of that craving of like the sweetness of like if you've got a sugary craving. Brussels sprouts are great. They got a sweet taste to them, and if you put them with a bit of bacon, they taste fine. Other things, protein shakes. Get your protein in, whack in some oats, blend it up, and you got yourself like a 500, 600, maybe 700, depending on how many oats and how thick you can actually drink it. You can get up to a shake up to 1,000 calories easily. Stick a banana in, which is about 100 grams. Got the sweet taste. It's one of your 5 a day. So there's plenty of ways on how to bulk. The thing is, what you got to be careful is what I'm struggling with is the volume of the amount of food. It is hard to eat a lot of food, so do not go into it like straight away like I need to eat 4,000 calories, but you've only been eating 2,000 calories. Your body will not cope with that. You'll get bloated, you'll feel sluggish, and you'll just feel miserable. It won't work out. Gradually build up them calories until you get that target you want to get to, and it will be more reasonable. And you'll still be gaining weight, so there's no rush in bulking, because you can be on a bulk for a whole year, and that's one thing. Do not go on a bulk just for 12 weeks. There's no point. There's no point. You won't get nowhere. You've got to go on a bulk for at least 6 months minimum, right? If you can go on for a year, do a year. So if you've just finished cutting now, get off that cut now and get straight onto bulking, right? Do it until spring and then start cutting. That gives you a good 8-9 months of solid bulking where you're going to get advantages. But do not get upset about what you look like. Obviously, you're going to gain weight. You're gonna gain weight. You can keep all your muscles and your abs, you know, if you obviously want to do some cardio and reduce it, you know, and do a surplus very, very gradually, like maybe 100 calories a actual week or a month. But obviously you will not bulk up as quicker as other people who are putting a lot more food in them, because with the winter, no one wants to see your body in the winter. And when you go back to cutting again, you know you've probably put on a lot more muscle as well, and you will be bigger and look better than the year before. So don't worry about the whole looking fluffy, because what you lose in looks, you'll gain in strength, and you will be doing PBs, which will make you feel great. You know, you'll be getting stronger and stronger, and that's the one bonus about putting on weight. You'll get stronger every month, guaranteed. Another thing you need to be careful about is if you're bulking up, you make sure you track your macros, because if you do not track your macros, you could lose muscle mass, or you could gain a hell of a lot of fat. And the macros are your proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. If you're just eating crap just to put on weight, your fats are going to be over the limit, and you're just going to get a huge belly, and it will just be all on your belly, and you won't really put much muscle mass on, because you just have a massive gut, and that's where all your weight is. And trying to get rid of that, good luck. You'll be there for a long time. So make sure you track your food on a MyFitnessPal. I'm roughly on about 209 protein, about 400 carbs, and about 70-80 fats. Of course, don't worry about the fats being high. The bigger you are, I'm not the biggest person, but if you're like 15-16 stone and you're bulking up at that weight, your fats are going to be a hell of a lot more than mine, your carbs are going to be a lot more than mine, and your protein's got to be a lot more, because you've got a physically bigger body to fill it up. So don't worry and look at somebody like me and go, wow, I'm eating way too much food. I need to eat as much as you. No, because then you'll probably be in a, you'll be actually cutting. So just, you need to track your own diet and your macros and see where you are. There's plenty of there's plenty of apps and plenty of websites where they can track your macros for you and calculate it for you easy. So you don't need to go to a professional about this. I just basically gave you a free PT lesson for nothing, and that's what they will do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my rant. If anybody knows about ankles or is a physio and knows what could be wrong with my ankle, and also my gagging thing when I'm eating the protein and oats, please comment down below, because you know, I might not even go to the doctors now. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this vlogging every day in August and this day. It was a bit of a long one, but it needs to all get in. Hopefully you now can get onto that bulk and get your big muscles, and see you next time.
Let's go!